Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Minnesota RØKKR co-stream. My name is Ashley, aka MiDNiTE. You'll be watching here with me and IKON. What's good, IKON? Welcome back.
What's
My
going
co-stream duo. We're playing Toronto Ultra today, and I'm pretty hyped for that. And I'm also pretty hyped that Paris just beat Florida. They're in our group. We lost to Florida, but beat Paris. But now Paris beat Florida. So, like, quick math, that's good news for us. Kind of a bizarre way that it ended there. I actually didn't catch, like, what happened. I think Neptune lagged out or something. But I think when you're that far in the game, they can't, like, restart it if it's a player-related. I don't know. I'm not a referee. I just work here. So, dude, I'm hyped for the match today, though. Like, it feels like whenever we find ourselves in these situations where we're not supposed to win. That sounds bad because I always believe that the guys can win, and in this league, anybody can beat anybody. But we took a close L. It was 3-1, but the match was very close versus Toronto Ultra at Majors 2. Since then, Ultra has been on fire, red hot. Talk to me a little bit, IKON, about what has made Toronto so good recently and what can Minnesota do to dethrone the Kings of the North. They're the Kings of the North lately, and I'm getting kind of pissed. We deserve a win. Come on, what do we need to do?
That's got to hurt to say right there.
It does.
It's only
just being honest.
Yeah, I think it seemed like when they made the roster change to bring in InSight, a lot of people thought, well, Methods was playing well. InSight, if he plays well, it's kind of just like a one-for-one swap. Don't really know how that improves them. And that really couldn't be any further from the truth. InSight has been absolutely phenomenal. Even though it's been a pretty small sample size, he's like by far the best main AR in the game. It's just the stats that he's putting up, the kills per 10 minutes, even like the engagements per 10 minutes in basically every game mode. He's just super active and he's shooting straight, finishing kills. He's made a big difference for them. And I think it also gives a little bit of confidence to some other players. Like Kleenex always pops off. Cammy always plays super consistent. But the other big one that has to deal with their success is Bance. Whenever he doesn't play well, they look like they're beatable. Then they go into that stage 2 major against Dallas or against Atlanta in the finals, and Bance is like the player of the stage, goes absolutely insane, and they look like a totally different team. So going into this one, I think a really important matchup is, and these were kind of the same matchups the last time that we saw these two teams back in the stage 2 major, is what can Standy do against Kleenex? Because Kleenex is that prototypical in-your-face, a BZ type player, Shotzzy from last year type player, where they're just always around mid-map, bring a ton of pressure to the map. And like we saw in that last hardpoint on Garrison, in that last matchup of the stage 2 major, Kleenex just absolutely went off. He was controlling the middle of the map, and he made it really difficult on Minnesota to get out of their spawns. So that's a big matchup, is Standy and Kleenex. Who's going to have a better series here? Who's going to get more pressure in the middle of the map and then eventually push forward and put pressure on the enemies? And then the other one is going to be accuracy versus InSight. Accuracy's been playing pretty well. The last time we saw him, he had a 1.16 overall against Paris. In fact, everybody played really well in that matchup against Paris. So it'll be interesting to see who can win those rotation gun battles between accuracy and InSight, and then who can control kind of the middle of the map and putting a ton of pressure on the enemies when it comes to Standy and Kleenex.
Yeah, I'll be really excited to see that. And in our, Major 2 match versus them, it was most definitely Kleenex and Bance just had our number. Attach and Standy were not able to be as influential as they probably would have liked to be in that match to really give us the edge. And they were very close maps. And then, yeah, ever since then, Toronto's just been on fire, melting all the snow up in Canada, I'm sure. But let's take a look at the maps that we've got, because these are actually kind of some interesting maps, quite similar to our series on Friday, but also a little bit different. So I'd love to hear, like, from you, the records, ours versus theirs on these maps, and then we can talk vetoes. So let's start. We'll be starting on hardpoint raid. Let's go. Best map, best mode combo of all time. Don't at me. My opinion is correct. Search and destroy on checkmate. Control on Garrison. I mean, we just played Garrison versus Paris, and Standy was straight up exorcist mode in the middle of the map. It was crazy. And then we'll be going, if needed, to map 4, Hardpoint Apocalypse, and then map 5, if we get there, is Search and Destroy on Raid. So looking at these maps, a little like S&D checkmate, like, ooh, makes me a little nervous. Apocalypse, like, yeah, we beat Paris on it the other day, but didn't look super strong. So break it down for me a little bit. Like, what are the positives and negatives map pick wise for RØKKR here?
First of all, I think the vetoes went really well. And something that's interesting because Minnesota has played raid control almost exclusively since that came into the fold. And that was actually a veto by Minnesota in this one. And Minnesota's got a 7-4 record overall on raid control, but Toronto's 10-7. So they played a lot. And I believe as of late, they've been absolutely on
They've been
fire.
slain.
Yeah, so that's one that they want to avoid. And I like the fact that Minnesota says, you know what, we just played control garrison really well against Paris. We're 3-1 on the year. Toronto's only 2-1. So let's go ahead, let's take the raid out and let's just try something different here. That's when we saw Priesta and Stanley just absolutely go off in the middle of the map. And that was like a record time control match against Paris. So I like the fact that they switched it up there. Some of the other game modes that Toronto's really good at, like hardpoint on checkmate, that one's out. When it comes to S&D on Express, Toronto's 4-1. Minnesota took that out. So when you look up and down, the only map that they're playing today that Toronto's really good at is that S&D on raid. They're 7-1 on the year S&D on raid. So that's the only one where you think, well, if it goes to a map 5, we'll see what happens. Clearly, it's something that they're really good at. But the first 4 maps, like hardpoint raid, Toronto's 4-5. All right, let's flip a coin. Let's go for it, right? Minnesota's 3-5. But if it's a map and mode that both teams are kind of okay at, then let's see what happens. S&D on checkmate. Minnesota's only played it once. Toronto's only played it twice. Toronto's 0-2, Minnesota's 1-0. Sure, it's a really small sample size, but it's better than playing an S&D where, Toronto's got a 7-1 record or something crazy. So, and then when it goes to map 3, I think that's a really solid pick. Both teams are pretty good on it, but we just saw what Minnesota was able to do against Paris. So overall, I like the maps. I like the fact that they took out some of the ones that I think have been mainstays in Toronto's recent matches, switching it up, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's an amazing point. And then the rest of it's kind of a little dicey too. Apocalypse, our record is 1-0, Toronto's 1-1. And then Raid, Minnesota, or Search and Destroy Raid, map 5, Minnesota's 2-1, Toronto's 7-1. Yikes! Oh my gosh. So let's talk vetoes. What actually got vetoed? And I actually saw Tanush in the chat said map 2. I thought checkmate was our auto veto. Well, let's take you through these here. For the hard points, RØKKR vetoed checkmate. Toronto vetoed Moscow. I guess Toronto's kind of been auto-vetoing Moscow all year. No change there. And then checkmate was looking a little scary the last couple times we played it. Search and Destroy, RØKKR actually vetoed Express, which is a map that they've kind of liked as of late since it came out. But Toronto has just been, they're setting the whole world on fire on Express. So no big surprise that we actually did veto that one, when typically you're right, we would veto checkmate. Toronto vetoed Miami Search and Destroy. I wouldn't want any part of Lamar on that map or anyone else on the team. The squad's been looking decent on that. And then the control vetoes, like you mentioned, RØKKR actually vetoed Raid, one of the mainstays, and then Toronto vetoed checkmate because checkmate control hurts my soul. So yeah, like the vetoes actually, they shook out pretty decently. Toronto has been on fire lately, so it's kind of hard. Like, you got to pick your battles a little bit. You got to go in to hardpoint on raid, like you said, a little bit of a coin flip hope there. And then, Toronto's been so good in Search and Destroy. I mentioned to you off air, before we got in here while we were doing AV check, that man, Toronto's just looks so good on Search and Destroy. And Minnesota is a good Search and Destroy team, but we've been lacking a tiny bit on it lately. Do you feel like the hardpoint map 1 is that a must win, or is it like a please win? I guess you could start a reverse sweep, starting with control, which we've been very strong at. But what's your take on how this one's going to go, Icon? What does RØKKR need to do to try to get a win?
I do think that map 1 is pretty important, which is really different from what we've seen over the last couple months. It was always, well, it would be great if we could get a map 1 win, but let's focus on the map 2. Definitely got to win the S&D. And since the roster changed, this squad has kind of flip-flopped maybe just a little bit, where they've come out, they've been winning those map 1s, and then once it goes to map 2, sometimes they take that S&D, sometimes they don't. But just the overall flow of how the maps have gone recently, from how they went like a month or 6 weeks ago, it just feels a little bit different. One thing I will say about that map 1, that's the map that Minnesota was able to win last time they played Toronto. And once Toronto beat Minnesota and went on to play Dallas in that stage 2 major, Dallas also won that map 1. And as of late, Toronto's won 12 maps in a row. They're 12-0 over the last 12 maps. But the map 1s, like against Dallas, was 250 to 242. Super close. The map 1 against LAG was 250 to 247. So overall, I think that they probably warm up as they get going. So you do want to come out, you want to capture a victory in map 1, go up 1-0, and then once you go to search, I mean, S&D on checkmate, it's a map that they haven't had a victory on yet. So who knows what happens when it goes there. But if you can get a win on map 1, I think that goes a long way towards a potential victory.
It absolutely does. You always want to start off on the right foot. Our hard point has been looking a little better recently. And I mean, yeah, Toronto, they're on fire right now. And I really feel like in matches like this, where there's not as much pressure, maybe like Toronto, I'm betting almost everyone's pick'ems. I mean, maybe not, because RØKKR is a really good team, but like people may be picking Toronto to win just because they're on this big hot streak. The pressure's really on them. This win, because Paris did just beat Florida, this win would go a long way towards securing a really good seed for our group. Obviously, if we lose this match, we still can make top 3 in our group, I believe. But you definitely want to get as many seeding points as you can going into stage 3 major. It's going to be crucial. And so, yeah, a win here today would be massive. It would be great to beat a hot team in Toronto and just to eke our way even further up the seeding for stage 3 major. But with that, it looks like they've done our team intro. Let's get into it. The match is about to start. IKON and I will be back after the hardpoint on raid, hardpoint on raid. Give me your predictions in the chat, guys. Who's winning and what's the series score going to be? Looks like the guys are giving high fives. Everyone's excited. High five, IKON. Let's go. I did the wrong side. I'm sorry. Bam, bam. There you go. High five. Anyway, we'll catch you guys after map 1. Enjoy.
Getting top 3 in this group right now, trying to get to 2-1.
Yeah, I guess that conversation is really going to start to happen now. Last stage was one of the more wild scenarios we've ever seen. When you talk about the groups and how everything was tied up and the outcomes, it was insane. We might get there again, but let's get to our game field keys to victory, Joe. For Minnesota RØKKR, what were your thoughts?
This is a rematch from the Major 2, and Standy really had a bad match. One of the worst games that we've seen from him, so I'm looking for him to bounce on back. He was minus 16.83 overall in that series. Hardpoint is still the focus. I know it sounds like a broken record, but throughout stage 3, they are 1-3 in that game mode. Nobody on the team is positive there, so you got to step it up, Slay, and then close out those games when they have the lead. Ultra has been a comeback machine throughout stage 3. Do not allow them to get back into it.
Absolutely, and I think maybe that's the part that's bothered me, is that looked to be the improvement, right? Like, that's why even though they lost and maybe didn't make as deep a run as they'd hoped at the Major, their hardpoint looks so much better, and now it hasn't. So we'll see if they can turn it around. Now let's talk about the keys to victory for Toronto Ultra.
The last 7 matches, they are 7-4 in hardpoint and 16-1 in search and destroy and control. So for me, fix some small mistakes in hardpoint, right? I mean, that's going to happen, but be ready to adjust in search and destroy. People are going to be studying their gameplay. RØKKR is going to be a team that prepares very, very well for them. So I'm excited to see today. Miscellaneous power, they are plus 67 in their last 2 series. All 4 players are positive in every single mode. And do not let communication fall off. When it's easy, when you're winning, it's easy to have that trust and confidence in one another. But the comms have to be there, right? That's the intensity, is that communication. Everything's going well. You're 3-0. You just won Major 2. Do not stop there. Keep bringing it in these matches.
I like, you see Vance getting dialed in. He talked about the fact he's having these, kind of zen breathing moments to prepare, not trying to get all hyped up and overhype himself before matches. And as much as it's been cool to see the team improve, I mean, eyes got to be on Vance. His turnaround has been sensational. The confidence is there. He is making plays, and statistically, the turnaround is it's incredible. It's one of the best stories of the year. Hoping to see some flashy plays here.
Okay, before we get to that, I do have to say, as we looked at the maps and modes, I think RØKKR did an excellent job in their vetoes. So RØKKR, you're going to see Apocalypse, you're going to see Checkmate, Search, and Destroy. RØKKR, they would typically play a Garrison Hardpoint or a Moscow Search. Two maps they are very comfortable on, but they know with Ultra how good they've been on those maps. They have to throw an audible in there. They've only played Checkmate, Search, and Destroy one time. They've only played Apocalypse one time, but they flex off their comfortable maps. They're trying to put Ultra into an uncomfortable position.
We'll see if they can do just that. We'll start it off on Raid. I feel like we saw a lot of Raid yesterday, whether it was Hardpoint, Control. We had some wild and wacky moments for sure. An Ultra, a team that struggles so much to close out on this map early. God, after the change, they have found ways to get it done, but it's going to be Benjamin Vance to kick things off. As he pushes forward, we'll rotate it over to Cammy, see if he hits some shots at the AR.
Yeah, nice little start here. Now, this is a rematch map from that Major 2. This is one that RØKKR was able to win 250 to 219. Then from there, it was all Toronto Ultra. This was that first map. Again, a lot of changes in the map set. Toronto Ultra, they're going to get taken down off a spawn. They're going to try and make their way across the middle of the map. They're thinking now just take kitchen side, rotate for hill number 2, and that's where our next battle is going to be. Kleenex is going to stay and fight for ring control, and he actually wins that one-on-one. But Standy, he's got a job to do. And he's going to do it with Attach as they find those kills.
Now over to Attach we will go. Oh, well, not yet the angle, but Kleenex, he is ready and rocking. Some of the performances he had on this map at the Major were nuts. Remember that play? Oh, God, that was in the final, right? Just that absurd highlight machine that he was. He's now on 5 in a row, working towards these streaks. Little snap, but unfortunately from Zig, he will get taken down. And Insight will get blown to bits.
Yeah, I mean, you basically just had a split spawn there from the RØKKR. You had one player work towards back laundry. I believe that was Standy, and he was able to secure those spawns, accuracy spawns up close. So you had this 2-2 split, and then Toronto Ultra, they were trying to fight from inside the hill, but RØKKR, they do a really good job. I thought it was going to be really bad because RØKKR, 2 of their players spawned out right before that hill popped. But they took their time in the back. They won a bunch of the important gunfights, so they will get some of that scrap time. Ultra now on that rotation. Kleenex, though, does spawn out. You're going to have basically a 2-on-3 for right now. And, well, Kleenex, he's going to make it a 3 versus 4 as he gets across the map. They knew that he spawned towards that backside. Now he's got to hold his spawn, make sure he spawns with his teammate. He does just that.
All 4 will be set up and ready to go as Insight's trying to control the ringside push. Starting to get flooded, but good job backing down. Delaying the push with a nice Simtex as well. And, well, accuracy has got a free haircut. Attach does get the trade, though, and now on the other side of the push, it's Cammy. And this is just perfect. They lose 1 player in that sequence, but take out all 4. This is going to be some clean time.
And this is actually interesting the way they're playing this. They're giving up water side. Look, Cammy's watching water from inside the hill. Now, that is a bit of a risk. If your teammates die inside of Art and they block the water spawn, you are probably going to spawn out. But they play it right. They send 2 into Art. They play in 1 Zay. They are forcing them to try to hit that water side as they stack the left side of that hill. And that was one of the better garage holds that we've seen throughout this year. Toronto Ultra, they're going to hit all that time. They're going to get the lead. As Vance is trying to work something, was on a 5 spree, had a slow start, but turns it around with that hill.
Well, RØKKR, I mean, they got some big kills there. I think, Kleenex was on 4 in a row, Vance on 4 in a row, at least making sure after that fantastic hold they don't get any streaks. Now RØKKR trying to bring it back, only down 15. But a chance to make a rally here at court. Let's go to an after listen-in with Minnesota RØKKR.
Need it.
Just make a push.
Hold it back when you spawn up.
I'm. They're hitting in front of me, I think. Okay. I'm laying down on the head. Money rocks. Front. One side, 2 front.
I'm side money.
3 front.
Inside on point.
3 front.
Challenge hill dead.
Thanks, Dad.
Last 2 last 2.
I'm watching in front of you. I'm watching in front.
Yes. I'm waiting for you guys.
Inside dead.
Good job.
Water. Two water.
Yo, can you go for me, Dale?
There's 3 water.
I'm pre-firing this.
There's 3 water. I'm coming kitchen.
I'll heal you. You can go. I need to pull steps across.
He's bottom bed.
I have your
Kleenex.
zig. I have your zig.
Pull
Bottom
stairs,
bed,
pull
nice.
stairs, pull stairs, weak band.
I
I still
still
love
love
bottom bed. I still love the
He's
back.
really
weak, pull stairs, guys. Cammy's dead. Last guy's pull
Nice.
stairs.
Still pull stairs.
Yeah.
Yo, go ring.
Okay, I'm going. You guys can pull.
He's on new. He's on new.
I flashed him. I
Okay,
flashed him.
Base, dude. He's on the right side hill.
Kleenex on hill.
Take
Weak.
down, we're good.
He's our
Pillars,
front
pillars,
kitchen.
fans.
One guy's our front
I
kitchen.
got
Okay.
it. I got
Oh,
it.
what's up, bed?
Vance
Top
is
bed,
ring.
top bed. Vance is in
I
ring.
spawned
Okay.
kitchen.
Take your time. It's gas.
I'm going for ring, guys.
We're gonna pincher.
Okay, where's our one guy?
Top ring,
Top bed.
Vance dead. Vance dead ring.
Bottom bed, Cam, you dead.
I'm
Nice,
gonna
I'm
pinch.
pull.
Pillars and hill. Pillars and hill.
Okay.
Collapse on hill together if we can.
I'll get your pillars.
They're gonna be
I have
spawning
your
hard.
pillars,
They're
I have
spawning
your
hard.
pillars, go.
On the right rock, inside.
Zig and right. Front kitch dead. Digging
On the right
right.
rock.
Take
Help
your
you.
time.
I'm gonna go around.
Pillars, Cammy, pillars, I'll wrap Cammy. ring.
Top
Top
ring.
ring.
I'm
Alright,
waiting
let's
top
go.
ring.
I'm going zig.
Cammy's top ring, alright? Yep. I'm gonna go kitch.
Top ring. Top ring.
Top laundry.
Top ring.
Zig,
Zig,
Cammy's
Kleenex, one shot, and one hill.
Zig, time dead.
Nice, last one,
I'm
Zig.
top.
Zig
dead.
dead.
Nice. I got time.
Time.
I'm top ring at the moment. I got time. Go ahead.
I'll meet you.
I'm going towards laundry.
Yeah,
I need your white van.
You can call my cross. I can see your
Yeah, I'm
water
on a high
step.
top part.
Yeah,
I
you
need
can.
my van. They
I
might
can
hit
see your
mid.
water push up.
Might hit mid.
I full flash him, Zig.
Okay, they can go around.
Yo, one guy's top right, I think.
Okay.
I'm holding a laundry pinch.
Zig. Water step. Two Zig.
Yo, I'm repitching Zig.
Oh,
Stay
no,
alive.
Back to the action we go. Basically a tie game right now. And who's lighting it up? And Kleenex is on 18. I mean, he's doubling the rest of his squad, for God's sake. A little bit more balanced on the other end of it, but the scoreline, it is tight. Now we'll see Priesta push forward. Vance ready to go, and he's turned it around bad. I think he started like 0-5 and picked it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is just so back and forth. All should do a really good job at Garage. It's responded by Minnesota RØKKR at basketball. And this is what we've seen with Raiden. You know, sometimes the difference in Raid is one break, right? That's really it. Where's it going to come from right now? Runner Ultra able to get inside a ring. They have the final 25 seconds. You have Cammy watching the push through the middle. But the big push is going to be just right at this hill. Vance trying to play his life, dipping and dodging, but Priest is going to clean it on up. Is RØKKR going to try and slow things down? And with this push, well, I mean, Stanley's the last one alive, so you're going to have a good setup here for Ultra before they get set up at Kitchen.
You still got one lurking on the other side. That's Vance, but it's cut down. Should be spawning safe. They'll both spawn courtside, but they have to get back. So here comes the flood now from RØKKR. Kleenex, Insight, trying to hold inside Kitchen, and hold they will. Fantastic job from the front. There is one more there, and Vance picks up one in the back. So, again, it's like an early setup where they go like 4 for 1. Give themselves a little breathing room around the point. Kleenex now up to 22. He's on a 4 spree. Looking for 5 as Kleenex has been just a monster here in the hard point. The shot continues to be crispy. Nice job using his teammates here as he finesses to get back to full health, and Ultra pushing out the lead again.
Hey, you're on that 5 spree now. Still 20 seconds left, and this was a perfect hold here at Kitchen. RØKKR could just not get together. It felt like it was a pretty staggered push, right? Just a couple towards laundry, then a couple towards front. Accuracy, he does take down 2. Standy's going to spawn behind the old hill, and he's actually going to go for the gunfight, but he gets taken down. Accuracy, though, him and Priesta, they've been able to get all of those kills, so Kleenex not going to earn those streaks. And look at the map control right now. With him inside a ring, with Zig there, you have attacks blocking that close spawn. Nobody from Toronto can get close. And now if you're Accuracy, maybe he's going to try and back on up, but he's going to get caught. They needed a response, and it's a great start here.
Well, this is that back and forth battle you were just talking about. One team holds, the next team holds. When's the break going to come? Might be now. 2 are going to drop. Flood coming in from Ultra. Break here. Might be the moment that could seal the game, but the grenade going to hit on 1. They pick up all the kills, and they hold on despite the fact it was a 4v2, I think, there for a moment.
Now both teams are flying. This is great for RØKKR. Look at the Ultra spawn. So you're going to see all of them spawn out. Standy's going to flank that as they spawn rings. So now all of Ultra going to spawn at old. You have 3 members here. Vance is still lurking, though, but Priesta able to find it. The timing for RØKKR was perfect on that rotation.
Just think about the shift there. What looked like an Ultra break now turns into this, and now Standy, that's 6 in a row. 24 and 18 out of him. Can he find number 7? There it is. Artillery now earned. Locking down the point. Just 25 points needed to close out this map 1. And Standy keeps on frying. Finally will fall as Cammy cruises through. But you've got this streak to use, and I think he's calling it. Right as he pops.
Now, why not just slow them down? You see that to stop in Tiki. After that, they have to go. It comes down to this push right here. You have Insight and Kleenex. Bance, everyone's here from Toronto Ultra. With the setup strong, it's down to Bance, is able to find one, but cannot get on the point. RØKKR, they lock down Garage, they rotate to basketball. They clutch on up. I mean, what? Toronto got to 200 points at Kitchen Hill. From there, not anything.
Well, Joe, think about the difference in like the super subs. I called out Kleenex with 18 when we were at Ring. 22 at Kitchen. Like he slowed down massively. I don't think he got a kill really over the final couple sequences, and then Standy pops off and goes on an 8 spree. Just dominates the tail end of that. But I mean, it comes down to what? That Garage, the court flip, beautifully done by RØKKR, but a hell of a game one.
Oh, it really was. I mean, both teams with some great setups, especially a Garage Hill, because I feel like teams got really at least contesting a good amount of that time. They get to that back van, they push their weight through the gym, and you put the trophies down. You at least have to contest that sort of back and forth where one team doesn't want to over-challenge. But both teams there really locking that one down. It's Minnesota RØKKR, great plays, and as you said, Standy, 4,500 damage, and again, he had a rough series against this Ultra team at the Major 2.
I'm wondering, Tyler, if you're listening, our stats guy, I want to know like the final like 2, maybe 3 hard points, like the stat line for Kleenex and the stat line for Standy, because it feels like Kleenex came to a halt and Standy just popped off at the tail end of that game, and yeah, I saw him standing still in the minimap. Mike, I think that streak's coming in.
Icon, you know, we said it. We don't want to put yourself, oh yeah, they got to win the hard point or they're going to lose the match. That's definitely not the vibes, but that was kind of the vibes here, because after we kind of said, like, man, this hard point is so important for RØKKR to take, the stats people came in on CDL and said, yeah, Toronto is 16-1 in their recent search and destroy and controls, which means this map one is pivotal. We were able to take it in such close fashion. It was looking real dicey there for a little bit, especially how we kind of lost the first set of rotations after starting on good side. But walk me through it. How the hell were they able to chain Garage and basketball together for the win?
Yeah, first set of rotations was really kind of a wash. At the end of P5, it was basically a 10, 15-point game. And then as it rotated over towards P2 inside of Kitchen, Toronto did a nice job of being able to get a ton of time there. They built up like a 20, 30-point lead. And then as it rotated over towards P3, as it usually does, Attach was able to get a really crucial kill towards the end of that push by Toronto, which basically secured a full 50-ish, full 55-ish points for Minnesota. But normally what happens is as it goes back to P4, if you don't have P3, then normally you're the team that ends up holding down P4, and that's a really tough hill to break. But Priesta was able to leak out. He was able to win 2 gun battles over towards back jungle on rotation, and they were able to chain together that time from Garage inside of P3 with that time over towards courts inside of P4. Once they chained that together, it essentially forced Toronto to push from top water, and that's just one choke point right there. And if you know they're coming through that choke point, and Standy did a really nice job inside of Kitchen too. So that's what teams try to do. If you're pushing towards top water, you have to try to get through that one choke point. So they're going to send their SNGs over towards Kitchen. Standy went absolutely massive inside of Kitchen. Didn't let Kleenex or Bance get through into Kitchen, and then it forced them through the top side of the map. They were able to secure a massive map 1 victory.
Yeah, it feels good, especially because of lately in hardpoint. It feels like we'll either get the rotation and then we get broken, or we don't get the rotation, but that we're able to make 1 break, but it's not enough to get a solid chunk of time. Right then and there, we absolutely needed that rotation of basketball. Priesta wins 2 insane gunfights, which we didn't get to spectate, but just watching the mini-map and watching his rotation and seeing that he got those eliminations was huge. And then, yeah, like you said, Standy just cooking just chefing, man. Just chefing in the kitchen on raid. So now, I mean, yes, Toronto Ultra I can't remember the match sample size, but they're 16-1 in search and destroy and control recently. They're red hat, okay? So if we could just steal one of the next 2 maps, whoo, we're looking nice, man. And going into checkmate, we are 1-0, not too much experience. Toronto 0-2. not too much experience, and it was negative while they did experience it. So this is, I mean, the best case scenario you could ask for is winning map 1 and then having this be map 2. Minnesota's got to come out in a big way, and I think we can do it. We'll put you guys back to the CDL feed now, but stay tuned. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, follow, tell your mom about the stream. Get her in here too. Oh, get us on the iPad. Let's go. Anyway, we'll kick you over to the stream, and IKON and I will be back after the search on Checkmate. Let's go, RØKKR.
Question. I believe that I think it's a bit of both, right? I think they put him in more comfortable positions once Insight joined, and maybe he spoke up and was just like, I'm not comfortable here, I'm not comfortable here, this is what I want to do. But yes, when you are winning, and I've talked about it before, there is just no second guessing yourself in your mind because you just believe you're playing at your best. It's simple as that. The confidence to say what I'm doing is the right thing. When you're losing maps, it's, man, I should have done this a little bit differently. I could have done this a little bit differently. And it can be exhausting.
100%. Like, it even feels like, I guess, you know, winning in scrims won't solve that. Like, you got to win the big matches, right? You start getting some dubs there. You start making some runs. That mentality starts to shift, and they are in a groove. But I guess I don't know. How far can they push it? How good can they be? I think you got to consider them the best team in the league right now, without question. Is, you know, FaZe has been kind of up and down over the past couple of weeks. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the final at our next major, but man, Ultra, they play fast, they play loose. We'll see what they can do here in S&D Checkmate. We're going to start off with RØKKR. They're in command of the series on 1-0, and Standy, who was a phenom at the end of that game. We'll see what he can do here early.
And yeah, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because Minnesota, Moscow was available. They don't pick Moscow Search and Destroy. Toronto's been great there. So they play a map they don't have a lot of reps on. Right, 1-0 for Minnesota RØKKR, 0-2 for Ultra. This is where Toronto Ultra have to understand, all right, teams are going to try to exploit us in the vetoes. Hopefully, they've really been focusing on a map like Checkmate Search and Destroy, so it turns into one of their strengths. You know, going into that third major is a couple of kills come in, bomb is down, but it's a 4 versus 2.
Another one going to drop. That'll be all, and there'll be plenty of time here for the defuse. But yeah, I was looking at the maps and modes, like, when I saw that it was, I think I said to you, I'm like, I hope we go game 5, because I'd love to see them play Search on Raid, and I guess I felt really good about Ultra's chances to get there. But now with losing that game 1, and, you know, maybe not as many reps here, it could start to get a little frightening, well, especially if they go in another 2 hole.
Well, yeah, they don't have a lot of reps. I'm sure they've been practicing, but I think you know, after you win Major 2, you're going to Stage 3, and things have been going well. Like you understand what teams are going to try to attack in your vetoes. So I think they 100% know that this was a weakness that they have to at least turn it into like a 50-50.
Well, yeah, I mean, and they're in a position, you think, especially with the confidence and the record, where we saw FaZe, last stage, playing some stuff that was a little bit different, trying to get reps in an official match. I'm sure you'll see some of that for sure, but yeah, I'm excited to see the improvement, see how it plays out. But Priest watching the cross, Standy taking a nap, and Cammy, well, he's now dead, less sleeping, more dead.
Yeah, he's just hoping that he can't see his foot, but yeah, he gets spotted. Now Attach is probably thinking, I gotta bring this back to a 3-on-3, and he does. He's a little bit aggressive with that. Craig finds the angle, a nice shot there. They do have no one in that B bomb site, so if Cleaners wants to get pushed on up, he can. Insight going for a wall bang. Cammy 3-0, able to find another pick onto accuracy. They're not really focusing on the plane. It's the outer parts. Now they're getting pushed on up, but it's Craig versus Craig versus Craig. Reese is going to make it a 2v2. Cammy again with his 4th.
Cammy, man, dude. He is disgusting, and there's the final one. Cammy gets it done, and I rated it. I don't know if you're watching, but I wish I could remember the exact quote when Cammy first came in the league, and he was going to play with Rated. And I can't remember how he worded it exactly, but he was just like, the kid's disgusting. I've never even played with him before, but he's disgusting. I was like, okay. And he came in, and he was just popping off. And for me, I know it kind of came out of nowhere at the time. But man, as he just improved, developed. Like last year, you know, for the most part, we We were hyping up. It was behind the sniper play. This year, it feels like it's just everything.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been a beast for them. He's just been so consistent. And I think like throughout Major 2, a lot of the focus was on sort of InSight and Fans because they really turned the team around. That's who you were looking at to step on up. But Clinics and Cammy have always been their consistent players. Is Cammy now up to 5-0? In that 2v2, I mean, Attach had a chance to make a play. He was hoping Priest stays alive. Doesn't. Now into this round. Lots of nades coming on through. Nobody goes down. RØKKR want to get pushed up towards this side. Is Standy trying to stretch it again, but Vance is going to see you. He's going to see you going for that.
We're Standy these last couple of rounds. Just trying to like be behind cover, but keeps getting picked. Down a man is RØKKR. We'll see if Priest and Attach can bring it back. They're in desperate need of a round, but Vance still locking down plane. His teammates playing deep. They've got bomb down on the site. With 30 seconds to go, they're going to have to start to attack. CleanX will back him up for a moment here. All right, they got the bomb back. Let's see what RØKKR can do with it. Vance gets smoked. He's going to get up right on the plant. The nade is perfect over Priesta. He comes up from behind. The read is there, though. The challenge is in, and CleanX wins the gunfight.
Yeah, it's nice teamwork there. And, you know, they stop that bomb plant, but they make sure nothing happens on the outside part of the plate. But yeah, Cammy and CleanX, they recognize, like, okay, there could be a flank coming in. What is open? Our bottom left. So as soon as the kill is there, they turn around. Maybe they hear him, but the shots are in. Now Cammy up to 6-0, one off of streaks.
That's actually huge. I thought CleanX killed him. Cammy getting it, though. Gets him a little bit closer. Let's stick with his POV to see if he can get these streaks.
He might have had a team death, so I don't see him being close to streaks. Am I crazy?
Oh.
Yeah, no, the bar's not filled, so maybe he died to a teammate at some point.
Okay.
Or maybe there's a bug. We won't know.
I wasn't even looking at that. I was just looking at the number.
Sometimes that stat isn't in there. Okay, but it doesn't really matter because they're 3-0 up in this game. They find the first blood on the Standy.
I guess we'll find out in a second here if Cammy can find an opening. You still have number 3 and 8, the top side of the map. Might have an engagement coming soon, but we'll focus on the push through the lower plane. Priesta is patient, waiting, ready to pounce like a spider. Accuracy drops. It's another 2v3 scenario for RØKKR as they just can't seem to have numbers in this game. And, well, Priesta, you were chilling, but InSight, he could smell you. As he rounds the edge, gets the kill. And now the Trophy Terminator just ripping him off the map.
I think he got a streak. Okay, so I think he earned an artillery. That makes me feel a little bit better and make sure that I'm not going crazy. I know I've been hanging out with you a lot, so just had to make sure that was under control. But up to 4-0, again, the first blood on the Standy. And I mean, the way that the Toronto Ultra are playing this, RØKKR is just getting picked apart, not even in the B site. It's all about the outer sides. RØKKR, I feel like they've got to focus on staying alive, making them work the bomb site. That just hasn't happened.
Wait, Joe, were you suggesting that all your time with me has made you crazier?
There could be a lot of things you could add to that, for sure.
Yeah, I just wish you made me a better human. I wish it worked both ways, but we'll see if Cammy can remain flawless as he works on perfection on this map. And, well, so to Ultra, up 4-0. But they have just been picking RØKKR apart. I thought, speaking of pickings, I thought it was happening again. Accuracy might have saw a toe for just a moment. Not going to be able to snap. CleanX takes his head off. Vance going to get caught, though. Big gunfight wins for RØKKR inside the plane, and they have numbers for once. This is a fantastic situation. Now, this you got to close out. Remember, Cammy does have the streak. I don't know if it'll come into play, but you'd like to earn the next one as well. That's not going to happen. Attach, lining them up. 3 in the round. Goes beast mode to keep RØKKR alive.
Yeah, nice round right there. Just winning those gunfights on the B-bomb. Yeah, Priest and Standy, the duo inside. And Attach is able to find those kills with the Kriegs. You know, they got to try and find an opening into the site. But now let's see on defense. Can RØKKR, can they force them to have to take that plane fight? And when you're in those positions, can they stay alive on the outer parts? Because that's what Cammy's been doing, right? He's been picking them apart one at a time, giving them the numbers. Can Standy stay alive on a defense? It feels like time and time again it's him getting first blooded.
Well, it's tough to play that way in this map, but I just feel like every time I've watched Ultra or casted Ultra, it's Raid, and they're just running around like Banshees, just sending it. Here, got to be a little bit more poised, a little bit more patient, hold those angles, and they've been doing an incredible job so far. Just, again, we've only seen them twice in the league on this map and mode. Well, the ping is in. Now let's see. He is going to call it. And the white arrow in the back, he's going to have to dip and dive because those are missiles coming in for him. But he does get out of harm's way. But it's a chance for him to move forward. Cammy off the streak. Able to locate a kill. Second, maybe there. No, can't get the trade.
I still don't know accuracies all the way in the back. That one player. Yeah, they sure do now. But you see the streak. They were trying to force them out of position. It forces Standy out of that position. Priest, though, is on the flank. He's the one player for the RØKKR that could change things. His accuracy gets taken down. Priest, he was hoping that someone was alive on his team. He was trying to make the play. Give me one more second. But it is this pick, again, from top plane wing, where Toronto Ultra have just been so darn good on their offenses.
I mean, they look just dominant right now. And I know it's hard because there was a point, God, you asked me, what, 3 weeks to a month ago? And I might have argued RØKKR was the best search team in the game. Like when FaZe started getting their couple of losses and that's all that RØKKR could really win. I know it hasn't been that as of late, but they're just getting dismantled right now.
Well, and I think back to the couple of times we did see Ultra, they looked lost on this map. Like, they did not play well at all. Like, they just got dismantled. They were the ones getting picked, on those defenses time and time again.
I mean,
but they've been working on things, and they look much better here. And as we said, while Toronto Ultra haven't played it much, RØKKR's only played it once, and they have won it one time. But that definitely comes into play. They do not look as comfortable. Priest does find the first blood. It's him and Standy again on the offense, able to work the B-bomb. Accuracy, trying to get his first kill.
Come on, baby! Otherwise, the Bond music is coming. You got, yes! It's on the board. I was ready to dun 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 dun. All right,
yeah, in case we in trouble, yeah.
Yeah. Inside, 1v1. Whoa! Into a 1v1 we go. Inside burst Standy. 20 seconds to go. Standy's got to win it to keep him alive. Not going to happen. Inside's got the position. Time for the defuse as Ultra take it 6-1 and quickly bounce back to tie up the series at 1-1.
And well, it's finally looking good. Accuracy gets on the board, but in the 1v3, it is Insight picking them apart. Finds the first on accuracy. There is no challenge. Attach, he's the next man up. Solo challenge, then Standy. You know when this bomb is down that it can be difficult, right? Because there's just not a lot of angles to check it from. And well, I think he hears a mantle on up. He clears inside the plane and just knows that Standy's going to come around that corner sooner or later. He has all the time in the world, wins that one-on-one. Beautifully done by Toronto Ultra. A great 1v3 out of Insight.
Well, I mean, I guess what gets interesting now is if this ends up becoming, another, let's say, kind of strong map for them. They were, 0-2 the two times we saw them. You said they were a little bit lost. And, when FaZe were on top of their game, we talked a lot about them trying to widen their map pool, stay ahead of the pack, which is similar to what Ultra's trying to do. But, God, if they get better and more maps, more modes, who the hell is going to beat them?
Yeah, you just hope that standoff comes into play sooner than later. Yeah. The rest of those teams, and they hope that's a bad map for them. But, just taking a look, it is very one-sided. I mean, Attach has 8 on the RØKKR side, but everybody else just gets smoked off the map. Toronto Ultra, we saw it. They were 11-1 in their last 12 search and destroys.
It has been so good for them, especially in the searching and the control. And, you saw the hardpoint loss, but when you're so good at 2-3-5, and they're also a decent hardpoint team, but when you're so good, you can get back in series quickly. They did it there. But now let's look at our U.S. Army tactical play. We're going to check out a moment from that game, too. It is all Ultra. Let's check it out again.
Yeah, it's going to be this 1v3 3, the final round that we saw. Priest and Standy, they open things up. You have Accuracy who goes on the flank, able to find that one kill. But then it's all down to Insight, and, well, Insight just picks them apart. The first on Accuracy, and he's just a little bit, he's like, all right, is anyone going to challenge on out? And maybe this is like a little bit telling that these two players aren't together. Tatch, he gets picked, and now it's just a timing game. Right? He's got 25 seconds on the clock. You're going to see this peek inside the window that I really like. It's just to clear everything inside of the plane. And this lets him know, this gives him the info that he might be coming from somewhere else. Standy's got a mantle on up from bottom plane because he's got to check the bomb sooner or later. Beautifully done by Insight all the time in the world. Checks and clears every angle. And it also helps when you don't miss.
Yeah, or get shot. I mean, I think the first person that hit him was Standy at the end there. There was no, like you said, no one was grouped.
All right. That was map 2 that happened. It was Search on Checkmate, and I think plane control is the name of the game on that map, and I think RØKKR only had plane control once. You know what I realized? I mean, or I guess I noticed, there were a lot of like solo plays, not a lot of sticking together done by the squad that map, and it really showed. That was just a struggle to watch. I know Ultra, they are currently the best search and destroy team in the game. They are 16-1 in their recent search and control maps, so they are very good. But wow, that hurt to watch. IKON, what's your takeaway? Or should we just focus on the control? What do we do?
Yeah, that was it was not pretty. I think that goes to show how good of a search team Ultra is right now. This is a map that they're not even good at. They're 0-2. They don't have a single win on Checkmate Search and Destroy this entire year, and they looked like they were lights out. One thing I will say is that when you watch a team like Optic is the best S&D team on Checkmate, and when you watch them play, Scump always goes mid plane. Every round, no matter what, he's going to be right there by the bomb site. And they just say, go ahead, push the plane, try to get this bomb site. We're going to beat you here. And I feel like that wasn't the approach at all that really either team took here. This map was really odd in that it was just a lot of like Insight picking accuracy on the right-hand side of the map. And it was very pick heavy that they would just kind of L trigger around corners and get picks. And we saw it time and time again. And as soon as you get numbers, they get the bomb down, or they just finish out your squad and they end up winning those rounds. So it was a weird map to watch because it didn't progress the way that it normally does, but give them credit. I mean, Toronto looked really good there. Now it's 1-1. We go on to map 3.
Ultra's nasty at search, and they've been nasty at control recently as well. However, with control Garrison, Minnesota's 3-1, and we just had a stellar performance 3-0 in Paris on Friday. Yeah, Friday. And Toronto is 2-1 on it. They're no slouch either. This one could go either way, but I will say, just based on how that first search went, and knowing that Toronto is 7-1 on Search and Destroy Raid, which is map 5. This feels these two respawns are must wins unless you want to be in a real weird predicament in a map 5 S&D. But yeah, to get there, we're gonna need to at least win one of the next 2 maps. So let's freaking do it. I don't know. I believe in the guys. I think they'll bounce back. They've showed great resolve previously, but yeah, that was hard to watch, man. I mean, I guess it is kind of a hard map, Checkmate, to get a ton of trades on because there's so many weird little angles and places to hide. But yeah, 0 plane control, no proper trades. We got schmabobbled. On to the next, control Garrison. I mean, what's the key? Is it, so last time versus Paris, you said the submachine guns in mid-map are going to be key. Is it the same here? Is it going to be, come on, Attach and Standy, do your thing, versus Kleenex and Bance? Is that what's needed here for the control on Garrison?
Yeah, I mean, the last time that we saw this, it was such a hot 3-0 because Standy started like 16-4, and he ended up going absolutely insane in that matchup. So, and actually, this was the last time that these two teams played. It wasn't this control, but the biggest matchup was Standy versus Kleenex. Who's going to take control of mid-map, whether you're on offense or defense? If you're on offense and you take control of mid-map, then you can go ahead and you can get time on that B point. If you're on defense and you get control of mid-map, then you can essentially just set up a really nasty spawn trap. So last time we watched this, Standy absolutely went off. It was one of the most dominant maps that we've seen him have. So I look to those guys. Priesta also played really well on this map. He was able to play that aggressive AR role, push up mid-map, just kill Paris as they ran out of spawns. So that's what we're looking at. Who's going to win those crucial gun battles in the middle of the map and either set up their spawn trap or start to get time on those control points.
It is time to do the thing. I hope we can. It's interesting looking at the control ranks. You know, it looks like most of Toronto's middle of the road. We're looking a lot better. I think we could do it, man. We'll toss you guys to the CDL stream, and we'll be back after this map.
To be fair, Priesta, before the swap in position, was the lowest KD in the league. So if it started after the swap, I'm sure that would be a lot higher. But obviously, we're looking at the year here for the second season of the CDL. But that's why I really wanted, I was excited for the control because they're both really good control teams. I really want to see that game 5 if we get there. A lot more games for Ultra. They're 7-1 on Raid Search, but I just feel like that's going to be a fun one. Have some epic moments, Joseph. I'm going to call you Joseph from now on.
Huh?
I'm going to call you Joseph from now on.
I don't really want you to.
Okay, I won't.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But where Toronto Ultra, I mean, a lot of their control wins on this spree has been Raid, right? I mean, they've played that map 17 times.
Okay.
So that was a majority of it. But here at the Major 2, they won this a couple of times. They're 2-1 on this map. For RØKKR, a 3-1. Toronto Ultra going to be starting on that defense here.
See what they can do. In the early moments yesterday, it felt like, dude, whoever got that nice opening break was winning the round. Like, almost every single round yesterday.
I mean, a lot of the times on Garrison, that's just kind of what it is. It's
not
really
just Garrison,
difficult.
like, it's a general yesterday for control. At least it felt that way.
Yeah, I mean, just taking back that mid-map control, getting put in those positions. But I think yesterday we saw some sloppy control gameplay, I think especially defensively, where we expect these two teams to play that a little bit better in those situations.
Oh, just look at the minimap. You like Ultra's positions. They're getting very aggressive here, starting to go forward as Bance is finding kills on them, trying to get out of their spawn as they are nowhere near a point. Now 50 seconds remaining. Coming out of prone is not the easiest thing, but he's able to snap. That's now 4 in a row and nearly the 5th. One right next to him, and he's going to get caught. So Bance can't keep that streak going, but such a great job getting position early, milking that clock. Now a ton of pressure on RØKKR to find some openings.
Yeah, Priest is just trying to stay alive, give them some map position. He's able to find one, try and stop the clock. You do see is that Bance lurking on through the vent. He's going to have an early one-on-one, but Attach is ready for it. Nice awareness out of Attach. You do see Accuracy work his way out to A, so 3 players are going to focus on that from Toronto Ultra. That should give the B point to RØKKR. Yep, it will. The wall base from inside onto the point. Won't take anyone down, but you get that time extension now if you're RØKKR.
Then make the plays to make it interesting, and even though they're pinned for a long time, I know time-wise it wasn't great, but lives is not that big of a deal. You're down 3. Certainly manageable. Well, as I say that, Bance does pick up 2, but Attach is still lurking. They're trying to hunt him down, and they're able to get the shots through and do just that. Can RØKKR get going? Standy, you talked about his incredible stats, but it's tough on offense sometimes. A 1-5 start, you expect him to get rolling.
They're trying to get some mid-map control. Attach and Priest. That's before dead, actually. That's exactly what they were looking for. They were trying to get some pressure in. Priest goes for the spawn kills, but that's a good job by Kleenex to recognize the situation that they're in. Attach and Standy holding these close boxes. Now you have Accuracy on the point, so that's 3 members from RØKKR on it. Accuracy, some nice shots with that Krieg. 3 dead. It's going to be on 1 player. It's going to be Insight and RØKKR. They get the 4 down. They push on up. Very good job. And yeah, it was like, okay, can they get mid-map control? And then that 4 dead scenario, we know how dangerous it is.
I mean, there was like, what? 45 seconds or so when they were finally starting to kind of get some semblance of mid-map control. Not even control, just the fight started there and not here, where we're watching Bance get kills. They made the clutch to get the first point, and yeah, just takes 1 moment. Great job by RØKKR, and well, I think after I point out Standy was 1-5, he gets 4 kills, has not dropped. He will carry that streak over into our second round.
And there's maybe one of those situations where you see that extension at A really come into place, because Accuracy, he rotates over from top green, And not only is he locking it down with a creep, but he's also on the point. So instead of having 2 on it, and maybe them getting aided, accuracy is also holding down that outside lane and helping them make progression at A. So, maybe that's a key there. That A zone and how it was improved. But now Toronto Ultra on offense.
It's just crazy how much they can flip. All right, Cammy is locking. Holy hell, 4 in a row. That reminded me of what the sim play he had with the pistol in the same map. Like, just a forehead gets demolished. There's another one, 5 in a row. Pistol back out, but Standy will drop him. But my God, Cammy, he is a talent.
Yeah, he is. Standy, though, was able to earn the artillery. But he was on that objective, so he turned those points into at least 1 streak, so they will have that where they want to use it on offense or a little safety net on defense towards A. So he's got that tool to work with. We're able to retake some control over towards B. Toronto Ultra flying up the middle of the map. And you can see accuracy trying to play from that corner, but is quickly traded. And yeah, those pistol shots, it feels like it, I don't know, you get a headshot in there and some crazy things can happen.
Yeah, they're dead. It's just insane to watch. Nasty shots. Now, he has the artillery, but he's slowly progressing maybe towards some more streaks. He's what, 9-2 or something. It's a slow start. Great from Standy, but now down to 20 seconds. This is about the moment where RØKKR made the play, right? They had about 20 seconds left, and they were able to clutch up. We're going to see Vulture can do the same, but well, it's just down to Cammy now. He's been a highlight machine. He's going to have to go nuts here. Can't get it done. Too many players to deal with, and I don't know if you've got enough time to get to the point.
Well, one difference I am noticing, Priest is running a third 74. So he's running a third sub, which may help them a little bit in those scenarios, middle of the map or over towards that A zone. And we see what? We've seen Seattle do that. We've seen some teams run that third 74U.
See it again.
But yeah, here was those ridiculous shots. And that's kind of what you're used to. And yeah, dude, that's like just 3 headshots. I don't know, the burst. Maybe a little flinch there, right to the forehead, and yeah, we'll see you later.
Yeah, that's one of those kills where you're just like, what? he peeks for a second, just gone. Feels like he got sniped.
That's a versatility of Priest, right? I mean, we've talked about him being one of the true flexes in COD. You get him on a map like Garrison, if they wants to use the Krieg, he could use it. Wants to use the 74U, he can pull it out. They're playing with aggression with the 3 subs.
Yeah, I mean, there's been times in his career we've talked about him literally being maybe the most versatile player in the game. He certainly can do it all and seems to have found more of a comfort zone. Then Standy joined the squad. Can't get forward. Kleenex advance. Insight. All line up the kill feed. And, they're down 0-2 here. They've got to make a rally. But it's somewhat similar to their first defense, right? Like in a good spot, and map control, little life advantage, time dwindling, and this is when RØKKR exploded.
Yeah, no, it's the exact same thing, really, where they were just dominating the middle of the map, but did RØKKR fight back into it? And he's trying to take control of inside a dart. The trades going back and forth with attach. The last one alive for his team right now. You can see the nade lands right on his feet. He's got to slide back with Cammy. So quick. And maybe Cammy brings out a third 74U. He could have picked it up. I haven't been on with it, but maybe he has to match Priesta in the way he's playing on the map. But here we go. 12 seconds left. You still have 2 players pushed up, but Attach is able to find 1. Andy's looking for the second, and they're going to stop this clock.
Here we go again. Attach, able to pick up the kill on Bance, who is towards their spawn side. Cammy with the pistol still doing it. Looks like he's back over to the Krieg. Second bit of progress about the wrap. You've got a presence towards A as well, keeping the Ultra players honest for now. Who's that lurking? Maybe top green. I think that's going to be Attach. He just waited to get an insane transition once they finish it. He's just been sitting here, ready to pounce.
Well, he's just hoping that, because one of the ways you can retake B is from top catwalk. So he's making sure those players don't get flanked. So they, in case Ultra did send one last push, right? There's only 9 seconds left. Some teams gamble it, but they just sort of reset up towards A now. Attach is the point man, making sure that flank doesn't come in. And now you're back to that fight over mid-map. But Cammy with some beautiful beams. Standy's got to wait for his teammates to come off a spawn. He's making sure nobody fights for this power position.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want them to retake, but also you don't want to deal with fighting through that to move over to A as well. So they end up getting smoked out of it, so it's not going to matter much to the scheme of things. But now the push through the back, Vance going to get caught. The pinch will come through. Inside at least able to pick up one in this sequence, but can they go big? Just trade after trade. As long as you're going 1 for 1, you feel good if you're Ultra. 4 seconds left to go. Insight's got the position. Priesta can't get around the gap. No one can get to the point. Ultra get around. Continue on to battle in this map 3.
And just a much better job. I mean, there's just one moment, their first time on defense, where RØKKR were able to get onto that A zone, and that was really it. And now can they win an offense? Can they get this to a round 5? Don't forget, Standy's still hanging on to that artillery. Still has that in the back pocket in case things go wrong here in this round.
They weren't really carrying over much of a, 3 in a row for attach, but nothing too insane. Looks like they're going to go A first, just try to hit it. Attach to able to get out. Priesta hits the shots. Priesta, I thought he was going to hit the movement and get another one there for a moment, but Vance will now be the lone guy. He gets through. Now, what is he able to do? At least he's going to make it so I guess they can't focus the spawn of his teammates. They got to have to try and track him down. Little ledge boost from Attach keeps him alive. Some nice movement there to get out of the bullet's way.
Yeah, but it's like you said, right? It forces RØKKR to turn around. Now you have 2 players on B that they're transitioning from. So a good job by Vance to play his life, take his time. And now the fights commence.
Well,
2
think
for
how
2
different
so
that
far.
is if he drops. I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean they're just
you're
stuck
not in
back
mid-map
here.
right now. Yeah, you're fighting. You're still fighting deep.
Patch has just been lurking, and maybe that spree carries over, matters, but it does not. Danny's able to take one down on the point. Now he's there for the contest. They're so close to capturing B, and that will happen. So now it's just about, can they get to this A zone?
Even for the lives. Tons of time. 2 minutes to go. Let's take a look at the minimap on how Ultra wants to play this. They want to funnel it through the backside. And Priesta with another multi-kill, man. Sub in hand, just making play after play. But Cammy still got a presence here. He's got Vance to work with. Vance will fall. Zer's trying to pick up where the spawn is coming in for RØKKR. And, well, trusty pistol, it's been working. Why not send it? But Attach so sneaky.
And that was beautifully done by Accuracy and Priesta. So when they get done capturing that B zone, they step out into green. They know that the Toronto Ultra push is right through the middle of the map towards brick side. So they flank it from top green. So Priesta drops through. He knows his teammates are going to be in trouble brick side. That's when he was able to find that multi-kill. Then you have Cammy just all by himself. And then they can hold middle of the map while their teammates come off a spawn. So a nice transition play defensively from the RØKKR. But inside of A now is going to be 2 players. You do have Attach on the catwalk, and it looks like he's just going to try and cut the reinforcements off. Now you have the artillery in play.
And I guess the one good thing is if you're Ultra, you made him use it now, right? With still a minute to go. Now with 20 seconds on the clock on your last push, so going to give you more of a chance, but heck, you're still here. They're still making progress throughout the course of this. The next, Cammy trying to line up the shots together. Second bit done. Looking like a round 5. Ultra trying to hold on. RØKKR can't get in. Ultra take the round. I love it, Joe. Give me a final round, baby.
Well, like you said, yeah, the streak comes in. Attach was catwalk. He was able to find 1 kill, but they all converged on Attach. And, you know, even with the streak, coming out of that bricks alleyway can be difficult from top green. And Ultra able to find the following kills after that streak lands, so they still had a ton of positioning towards that A zone, but they're going to have to do it again on offense.
Yeah, I was thinking they, we get the retake there, and at least I was, telling the story, you'd have enough time to get more shots at it. But no, they closed it out there. So fantastic job by Ultra. And they'll be on offense. What kind of opening can they get? Cammy still shooting beams. I'll stop the clock for now and get on it. And I mean, this is probably the best like offensive opening for the most part, where they're not just like battling out of spawn. It feels like for at least a good segment of the game. As I say that, maybe never mind.
It's Priesta. Yeah, he gets 3.
Never mind.
Again, from top catwalk, that's just where you can really find the opening onto that B zone when you have members on it. They're not able to get to a take. Now you have 50 seconds. They at least pause the clock early on, but they have to fight for so much map control. You have attach watch in one way. You have Standy in that corner with accuracy. That's going to try and get aggressive. Priesta's working up inside a vent. And what can Priesta find with accuracy? He's not able to. They know where Priesta is now. Do a really good job of getting out of that trap. I thought they were going to be stuck there, but they're able to get through and they find Priesta. Now you can have 2 members on B.
Hatch is still here and lurking. So they're going to go for it. Oh, he hopped right onto a nade.
Yeah, it's a team nade, I think, right there. It comes on in. Someone missed it.
Well, at least they don't have the information he is there then necessarily.
Redrop, it's on attach. Oh, wait, a trophy. A trophy somehow kills Pants. He was going to be on that point. I think he tries to put a trophy down and ends up dying to the trophy that was already in that position. So they would have had somebody on A already. Kleenex, though, going to try and hold this. Now they're going to fly out, but accuracy's in position.
Well, that's got to be a tough death. If that's the sequence of events that went down. Now, can they rebound from it? They do get 2 kills. They got the opening to start pushing out of green. They were able to close it out here last time, even when a streak was raining down on their head. No streaks to use this time. Little snap here from Insight. The contest is in, but the beams are in as well. Oh, melee through, but can't hit the shots. Attach. Accuracy, making the plays to clear them off. And they make sure they don't get that second bit of progress, but you still got a minute to play.
Yeah, we just haven't really had a strong defense here from Minnesota RØKKR. They do have a 2-life advantage.
That retake was huge, though.
Yeah, and Stanley's the one. He goes on that flank through catwalk. He was able to find that first kill. Ooh, that nade sticks to the door. Some tactical is just not really helping Bance out right now. Priest is going to peek and take down his teammates. Some unlucky stuff, but hey, it happens.
Hey.
Now there's only 35 seconds left.
That's why you do the breathing exercises, Joe, to prepare for that, but that's going to be 3 down. The guy there, Priesta, though, he's been Mr. Multi-Kill God. Not this time, Cammy. 34 and 25. Second bit of objective progress done. The last surge from RØKKR. They don't even get in. Ultra, they were down 2-0. In the control, it does not matter. They bring it back, and that is what champions can do. What a map win for Ultra.
That again, it's what they've been doing throughout stage 3. They continue to clutch on up. It's
like the opposite of early, though. It's the opposite.
Yeah, right. They're just responding. There's that confidence in each other. It's Cammy and Kleenex. They're able to get all 4 kills. It's a 4 versus 2, and they know they have to go. There's only 25 seconds left. The trades aren't there, and those 2 players pop on off, able to get on that point, and RØKKR cannot re-secure that zone.
They went from the choke kings to the clutch gods. Like you had keys to victory that sort of politely said stop choking. Like every time we cast it over them, because it was just 20-point loss here, round 5 loss here. Like all these tight games they were losing, and now it just seems no matter what, they are not out of it. And Cammy puts up a whopping 6,400 damage. Whew, having himself a series.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He fried there towards the end, and you know, he's running that second creek, even with that 3rd sub coming out from Priesta. He doesn't care, sticks with his guns, and his gun.
Deep sigh, IKON. Up 2-0 in the control. Have every advantage. Lose 2 defenses in a row to cap that one off. And on top of that, the defense there at the end was so incredibly winnable. Toronto just made, I think, like 1 or 2 really good pushes and capped A mad fast. Now we've been talking about, okay, must-win map here. This series was map 1. Now that was a must-win map, but now we're really going into a must-win map on hardpoint Apocalypse. What, like, was it just simply like Toronto iced up and got one good push at the end, or how did they get that comeback from down 2-0?
I do kind of like how they changed their strategy. So their first offense, they just tried to hit B straight up, and they weren't able to win the initial gun battles, and that's why they lost their first offense. The offenses after that, especially their second offense, they just sold out over towards A. And even though they didn't win that point over towards A, that forced Minnesota to throw everybody on the top side of the map. And as soon as that happened, the first 2 or 3 that went down for Toronto, when they came up off of spawn, they were then able to hop onto B, and they were able to capture that point right away. And then once you have people forward and you captured the B point, now you're in that middle of the map area, you're pushed up past the 50-yard line, and now you can start to try to spawn kill people as they leave their base. And they did a lot more of that their second and their third offense, which was a big change from their first. So they just did a nice job of just switching up their strategy, forcing Minnesota to throw people over towards the top side of the map. Once that happened, they took B, then they were able to gain map control, and eventually Cammy and Kleenex just clutched up one time, especially in that round 5. That opened it up. They were able to go over towards A and finish out the control map.
Yeah, I mean, it was just tough to watch because, yeah, we had pretty much every advantage from those first 2 rounds and on. Every advantage after. We had a streak. We had 2 defenses to cap off the map. And, yeah, Toronto just iced up. I mean, guys, it's not – Toronto's a really good – I would say they're the best team in the game right now. FaZe has been looking a little shaky. Dallas is barely eking out dubs. Toronto's looking really good. They're 16-1 in their most recent searches and controls, which is their 2 best game modes. So now we're going back to hardpoint, where we do have a chance to push this to a map 5. It's going to be on Apocalypse. We only just played this map for the first time on Friday versus Paris. We did win 1-0. Toronto is 1-1 on it. And yeah, this is the time. This is the must-win map. Search and Destroy raid, Toronto's record on it is terrifying, but hey, we'll take a chance, right? So we got to win the Apocalypse to get there. Minnesota will be starting on bad side, so we'll have to see how this is going to go. How hard is it to flip from bad side, IKON? And I guess how crucial is it? Is it absolutely critical that you do that to have a good start and win the map, or can you still survive on bad side and figure out a way?
Yeah, no, you can still survive. In order to flip this one for P2, it's really tough because you have to win the first wave of gun battles in the middle of the map. Then you got to push forward and win another wave of gun battles. And even so, then you still might not have spawns. So if you're on bad side here, you just want to get on P1 and try to get as many points as you can. If you can go up plus 20, plus 25 after P1, then you can just hit P2 from the front and try to do whatever you can to contest or flip spawns. But P3, 4, and 5, you want to be on the bad side of the map if you start there. So you want to have that left side of the map. So just try to have it somewhat even after P1 and P2, and then stack time on 3, 4, and 5.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Must-win map down 1-2. Let's take this thing to a game 5 if we can. Let's go, Rockers in the chat. Give me some good energy, guys. I want to feel it. We'll catch you guys after the hardpoint on Apocalypse. Hopefully we can take it.
I feel like you chain 1 and 2 on basically every map if you have the good spawn. So we'll see if RØKKR are able to flip it.
Well, I mean, we talked about Ultra, not a ton of checkmate search. They were 0-2, and they looked godlike. So we'll see maybe the same outcome here, but that had to have been kind of a dagger to the back of RØKKR in that last map. Up 2-0, you lose it. How do you regain? Well, a lot of them dropped early. Attached really the last guy here. That attempted flip, not happening with the first push.
Cameron's like, you know what? I'm going to stick with my Krigan no matter what. I have my Diamante in the back pocket. My Diamante's not missing. I'm not missing right now. He's having a heck of a series. Goes on another little spree as Ultra. They don't allow too much to go the way of Minnesota RØKKR. You see what a RØKKR are trying to do? They're trying to get under this map room and try to push up towards this back left side. They're going to get some control. They're going to find this scrap time. See if they can get pushed up from there. But everybody from the Ultra kind of stops. You have Kleenex watching over that mound.
How dare you, Joe?
What? How dare I what?
We don't speak the pistol's name out loud. The things that it did to me in Warzone when it first came out,
Oh, you're fine.
we don't
It's
speak
okay.
that. We don't speak that word.
Well, it's doing things to everyone, even in this game. So, yeah, that thing is strong. Those burst pistols always hit.
Yep. It's a Treyarch feature, a burst pistol that can bop you.
Yeah. You can guarantee it.
Well, RØKKR. This will be the big attempted break. Insight wants no part of it. He takes down 2. That's all 4 down. Just look at how far out they are spawning the whole way across the map. Some clean time to crew. Now for the RØKKR crew. His accuracy is trying to sprint in and get in position. Not able to get there. Cammy's pistol finally misses, and Priest does get the trade. But now, this left side of the map, they've got a chance to rally back. They're going to be down, but I mean, nothing crazy considering the spawn side.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be down around 50. Toronto Ultra did a really nice job there. They knew the push was going towards back left, so they played their setup from the hill. There's a lot of patience, a lot of discipline, but it pays off. Now we're going towards this Barrels Hill. Can Minnesota RØKKR respond? And you have this opportunity now where you can kind of chain together like 3 hills in a row, 3, 4, and 5. You have these bottom spawns, but Ban's trying to get aggressive over towards that outer path. Cammy's going to follow it up, picks up a 74U now on the hill.
Listen, these guys played Hackney Yard last year. Anything is possible with regards to spawn sides and be able to bring it back after an early deficit. We heard the comms went from RØKKR during that map 1. Ultra up 2-1. Firmly in control of this map 4, looking to close it out and remain perfect here in stage 3. Let's go to an Astro listen-in with Toronto Ultra.
I'm just playing my life up top. Yep, top again, Jamie. It's gone back.
So they're gonna go right. They're gonna go right.
Still top.
Still top, jump down.
Time close. I spawned in the back. Yeah.
Gonna hit
I'm
me.
gonna
Can you hold me?
I've got me. Two
One front
flanking back. I'll help you there. Stanley's hitting back on me.
Yeah.
Helping you?
Let me know if you need help. I have front jump.
Yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah.
Back meat. Still hitting back 3 of them.
I think they're hitting back. Yeah. They shot me under the truck.
You want me to get L then?
Big kill too, Jimmy. I don't even know you're there. I've got front.
In L.
2-0. And
Meat.
Danny and accuracy back. I won't hurt. One shot. That's on me. Look behind you, P2. Okay, yeah. Push it. Push me in time. L, Standy. One shot, L. Nice. Hurt really weak. Hurt. No time. No trophy.
I'm helping.
One hurt. Nice. Did we kill him? I killed Priest to hurt. Nice.
Yeah, front.
Go new. Get new.
Mid.
I'm new right now. Stand over you, Toby. I've left you. They're going to be banging front. Stand front, Toby. Stand front.
I didn't hit him.
Top. Toby.
Nothing hit me.
Actually, more stand. We might flip. No, hit in front new.
I flipped.
Yeah, it's got to back. It's fine.
No. I'm staying left back here.
Take our time, man.
I'm pushed up back at me.
Yeah, I'm coming, Toby.
2 seconds.
Too far. Yeah.
Back. One shot. Back me.
So try and slide to the back.
What'd you think there? Because it certainly, I mean, they were all chatty, but like there was kind of a clear vocal leader.
I loved it. It was a lot of, is this person alive? Hey, we might spawn out here. We did. Let's just back on up. Let's not worry about it. I loved what I heard there from those guys there. But yeah, Bant's very vocal in that moment, at least for me. And this was a
he
huge
was the one that stood out like by far for me, like 100%, like kind of keeping it all together.
Yeah, he was making sure they had a good idea who it was. And in RØKKR, that was a big break towards that 5th hill. They lost the spawns, but then Ultra fire right back. Ultra already up to 160 points through the first set of hills. Had a chance to put it up to 180. But Minnesota RØKKR, just at the wrong times, they were losing a lot of these fights. We saw it at 3rd. They lost the spawns. At 4th, it was all Toronto Ultra. They were able to hang on to those spawns. They get broken at that 5th hill, and now you see the mini-map again, and it reminds you of the start. You don't have the right side spawns. They're going to have to get really aggressive to try and flip, but that has not been easy. Ultra on point.
How much stock do you put in how good they looked at Checkmate Search, how good they're looking right now on Apocalypse against a solid team? Maps they haven't played a ton, the map pool widening. How big of a deal is it?
Oh, it's huge, right? They need to understand what teams are going to try and focus versus them. They're not going to be able. You're going to get your picks. You're going to be able to have those vetoes and pick the map that you want to play. They're going to have control for the most part, where they're playing Garrison or Raid. But the hard point in the searches, that's where teams are going to try and find that weakness.
Well, Yeah, if they have one, I guess we'll see. I mean, just looking so strong right now. RØKKR starting to claw back into it, but still a pretty big deficit. MiDNiTE, who started out, 6-0, still on one. Cammy, what a series he has had. 2 more there, 20 and 11. Just a megastar for this Ultra team right now. He is not missing a shot. It is glorious from young Cammy. He'll finally end up dropping, but good control here from Ultra.
And again, right, you see the spawns. You see where Cammy spawns. You see where Clean spawns. Even when they get taken down from those areas, he can still control the hill. Attached, though, through the front with the rest of his teammates. We're going to try and break this on up. Now, we've seen some pretty good comebacks on Apocalypse. You can chain things together.
Okay.
But you see how important those 20 seconds were for that team. And inside, he comes off a spawn. He guns 3. Attached might do the same thing. But they're going to find those final 10 seconds, be up to 226.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a ton of time, but I mean, when MiDNiTE got that triple, it probably ends up being an extra 20 points. And considering how close they are to closing it out, it's just painful. If you are RØKKR, thought maybe you had the break there to.
Look at Cammy, too. Look at it. He's already passed. Already behind attached.
Oh,
They're just going to wait on him.
Oh,
You're
no.
waiting on Cammy. There's an opening grenade kill.
Here I come.
Yep, and there we go. There's that kill. As MiDNiTE gets one, Bance. That's the 4th. 4 dead. They can win it here.
Beautifully done. Double positive now for Cammy. 3 in a row. 24 and 12. Lying in wait as they come to push. Welcome to the Cammy party. The Cammy dance. The Cammy slaughter. As they're all getting put down. 1, 2, 3. I wanted the 4th so bad.
He did too. He did too. I mean, he is just frying right now. Even like, I mean, MiDNiTE's right there, but it's not like Kleenex is having that crazy a game. Those two, though, continuously putting up the numbers. Cammy, 27 kills on the map right now. We are going to go to our next hill. Actually, he's able to find the one playing on the objective, but Vance shutting it down. Just a few more seconds for Toronto Ultra.
They might lose map 1, but from there, they are perfect. That's what? 9 and 1 in map count, right? Because the first 2 were 3-0s. 3-1, like over stage 3, just.
Well, they're 3-0 right now.
Yeah, no. So 9 and 1 in map count, right?
Well, now it'd be 12. 12 and.
Oh, sorry. 12. Oh, I heard the first series was. Yeah,
they were all 3-0s. Yeah, 12 and 1.
Yes. Okay. I was thinking this was third in my head for some reason. Unbelievable. Just dominance from Ultra, and I don't know. You maybe got a little bit nervous after the map 1. You know, they lose that first game, but that's what happens when you have this wider map pool. You're good in every mode. You're in every series. But, I mean, I think the one that's really going to bite RØKKR is just the game 3. You know, you're up 2-0. You got to close that out. You have to.
Yeah, you have a streak. You're on defense round 5. It just had to be better on that map.
But even then you're going to a map 5, raid, search, and destroy, which is basically, I mean, they've got an apartment they're leasing there. That is Ultra's home. So, might not have mattered. But we don't get there. It's a 3-1 victory for Ultra. And listen, I don't know how to describe it with a player, but like, you know, what I've said, what usually separates the good from the great is consistency. And Cammy's been very consistent, but then there's just that like next level, man. And you see it with players where it's just they hit this form where no one's touching them.
And on that icon, RØKKR loses 3-1 versus Toronto Ultra. GG's. I mean, it's safe to say Toronto Ultra, the undisputed best team in the game right now. They beat Atlanta FaZe in a best of 9 at Major 2 to be the Major 2 champions, and they have not not lost a single match since they're currently on an 8-win streak, undefeated in stage 3. Obviously, winning the hard point was nice. Got mopped on the search. Should have won that control, you could argue. We just got mopped on that hard point, and I don't even know how good I feel, even if we did win that control. We saw what just happened on Apocalypse, and Raid is one of Toronto's best search maps. So who knows? I mean, could have won it. It was winnable. But Toronto is, I mean, head and shoulders above the rest right now. What's your takeaway from the match?
They just looked really good on a map. Again, that they're not really that great at. Like, they just had a 1-1 record coming into this one, but it was it was almost flawless on the first set of rotations. They got a ton of time inside of P1, held for P2, got all of P2. As it rotated over towards P3, Cammy was able to sneak through the top side of the map. They were able to flip spawns. They held those spawns for P3, 4, and 5. I do think that, again, this is another map where Minnesota's only played Hardpoint Apocalypse once, and they played it against a Paris team that's struggling before they were able to get the win that they got today. But it's one of those ones that I'm sure that they'll go back, watch the VOD, clear some things up. Like on that second set of rotation there, Cammy was the one that was left inside of P2. Everybody else from Toronto hit P3 basically from the front, and Cammy was just able to walk through. He just walked up to the top left-hand side of the map. He created that pinch from the left-hand side, and then they just hit it both at the same time. They pinched. They were able to get that time inside of P3 and chain it to P4, and that's how they ended up winning. So I think there were just some minor mistakes kind of all over the place, not winning gun battles at crucial times, and you got to give Toronto credit. I mean, they're on a massive streak. This was actually that map 1 was the first map that they lost in the last like 12 maps that they've played, not even matches. So they're on fire. It was a good game.
So you're saying we had the best showing versus Toronto
for sure
in the last 3 weeks, is what you're saying. So
One
we're
map
the
won.
best of their L trail that they've left behind them, technically. Oh man, yeah, it's rough to watch. I mean, it always hurts to just watch, the maps go so one-sided. I mean, that Search, that Apocalypse, the other maps, I mean, yeah, the Control, although you could argue like, hey, you had the lead 2 defenses in a row, that hurts. But we played the first hardpoint really well, and Apocalypse is our least repped hardpoint map. It seems like it's Toronto's as well, but yeah, they've got a knack on it. They started on good side, and they just never relinquished spawn control that map. They did one time during the first rotation and immediately took it right back. It feels like any time RØKKR got spawn control on the map for there, they just were able to sneak in and take it back. So you're not going to win hard points that way. So props to Toronto. As much as it pains me to say they are our rival, the battle for the North, I'm a little salty Sally, all right? They got 2 chips. They're winning when they play us. Now they're beating everybody. I'm like, come on, man. We'll figure it out, though. We'll bounce back. We are going to play next on Thursday, May 6th for the Dallas Empire home series. We will be on at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time versus LAG. The co-stream will be back then. So, hey, I mean, you could argue LAG could be a bounce back series for us. LAG is no slouch. They're actually really good. They've played their opponents very close recently, but I don't want to play Ultra again for a very long time after today. What do you think RØKKR has to do before the LAG match? Just kind of get back in their groove?
I mean, it's not that they're really out of their groove. They played well today. They're just it was like one team gun battle away from forcing a map 5 against a team that hasn't lost a map in 12 maps. So they're right there. It's just, a wave of kills here or there. You end up winning the control. Who knows what happens when it goes to search and destroy? That's kind of how search and destroy is, especially against 2 pro teams. So I think they just have to shore up a couple things. Like some of the mistakes on Apocalypse were pretty glaring, but I'm sure that they'll watch it back. I'm sure that they'll recognize it. And now they're kind of tied for that 3rd spot right now. Actually, they'd probably be 4th because they would lose a tiebreaker to Florida since they lost head-to-head against Florida. But Minnesota and Florida are both 1 and 2 in the groups. So get the win over LAG to get to 2 and 2, and then that would set up a massive matchup with Dallas. And if they go 3 and 2, they'll probably end up being in winner's bracket.
We'll have to go hard for that. I mean, okay, probably the best. Okay, listen, I got a rain cloud over my head right now because losing to Toronto, that hurts. But if there is any positive you can take away from today is that Florida lost to Paris.
Yep.
So if there is some kind of crazy tiebreaker, depending on how this LAG match goes, and obviously depending on how the Dallas match goes, it could make for an interesting end to the stage 3. The goal is, guys, as always, to place in the top 3 of your group so that you start in the winner's bracket of the major. If you start in the lower third of your group, or the lower half of your group, in the bottom 3, then you start in loser's bracket. You can't lose any matches at the major. If you start in winner's bracket, you can lose once, drop to the lower bracket. So Whew. We'll see you guys at 2 p.m. Central. We're the first game of the day on Thursday. Did I say Tuesday? I meant Thursday. I'm sorry if I said Tuesday. On Thursday, May 6th at 2 p.m. Central Time will be the first match on stream. So definitely come here to watch the co-stream with us. And we'll hopefully be having a much happier end to that stream. But that'll do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Icon, thanks again so much for coming on. And we'll see you then. We'll see you next time.